my channel where we discuss all things positive and high vibes. My name is Hetty and today's video is all about overcoming anxiety, my top 4 tips on how to stop feeling anxious, how to start feeling in control of your life again. So keep watching and I hope you enjoy. So you can probably tell from my intro I'm feeling energetic today. I've got a lot of energy. I want to change it up a little bit. Bring some new vibes about to the video, a bit of a different background as well. Now, a little bit of background about myself. I used to actually have panic attacks all the time. I'm laughing now because I'm in a playful mood, but it was not fun. It was not enjoyable going through a panic attack. If you've ever had severe anxiety, if you currently have it, if you ever had panic attacks, you will know exactly what I mean. I actually was in a consistent state of panic for about I think it was just over a month, and it was literally every day. Like, I never got out of that state of panic. Caffeine can be a massive cause of anxiety and panic attacks, which at that point I was at university, so you can imagine how much caffeine I was drinking all the time. So me being me, even though I did psychology, I decided to go cold turkey on caffeine, which is what I'm not recommending for you at all. It brought about even more of a consistent state of panic for me because my body was obviously withdrawing from a drug that stimulates you. It's worth looking at. It's just a point if you do drink a lot of caffeine and you're particularly anxious. Shakes every day, and that was in large part because of my withdrawal from caffeine. And then I woke up about a month after I stopped drinking caffeine, just completely still, and I felt like a new person. But I still had the effects of anxiety after that. I still had panic attacks, quite a lot, because I just got into the fearing about having a panic attack. Anxiety can arise about having anxiety. I did actually identify that I have had anxiety for my whole life. I would say now that I'm free of anxiety. I still have worries, but it's not anxiety anymore. But my mum passed away when I was 5, and being 5, I hadn't fully developed, I hadn't fully got into myself, but that obviously was a huge trigger in bringing about anxieties for me, in worrying about other people, worrying about myself, worrying about death, things around that, health anxiety. These are a few of the tips that I did with myself. I did go to counselling at one point, but I decided I don't want to take any medication for it because I studied psychology. I didn't want to have to rely on anything but myself. I didn't want to have to rely on medication to help me feel better, and that isn't to say that you shouldn't do that at all. It is just my personal preference to try everything possible before I did that. So my first tip is to intensely focus on the now, the present moment. If you're feeling particularly anxious, if you're feeling like you might have a panic attack, it's to do things such as focus on your hands as they are now, focus on everything in the room, describe things that you can see, feel things, describe what they feel like, maybe what they smell like. It's good to actually hold things physically in your hands and just focus on how they feel. I'm grabbing onto this, I don't know why, but just focus on how they feel in your hands at that point. So intensely focus on the now. A lot of anxiety comes largely from the past and the future. So thinking about either those it's basically the only thing that creates anxiety for us, because there is no such thing as anxiety in this exact present moment. There's nothing you can be worrying about in this exact second right now. It's all created from either anxiety about past situations maybe reoccurring, or guilt and worry about those, or future anxieties of what might happen, and that is where your anxiety sits. So when you focus intensely on the now, it reduces that. It allows you to come back into yourself, back into your presence, and actually focus on what's important, what is right in front of you at that moment. My second tip, and this isn't to say that this is what you have to do, it's what I have done with a lot of things, and I did learn about this in psychology as well. Confront your fears. Confront whatever it is that you are fearing about, and you might just take little steps towards doing that. So a few examples with myself is I used to be terrified of spiders. I used to cry every single time I saw a spider. I started to realise that physically a spider's so much smaller than me. What is it that I'm scared about? And I kind of started to confront that slowly by, if one was in the room, not running away. I confronted it by allowing myself to be around it. If a spider came on TV, like a documentary, I'd make myself watch it, and although I felt a little bit uncomfortable at the time, I started to realise it's just a ridiculous fear. And although I am still working on that, I couldn't pick a big spider up now. I can pick smaller spiders up where I'm happy to, you know, put a glass over them and put them outside. So that was one of the fears that I had. I had a terrible fear of heights really badly. I'd been up like the CN Tower in Toronto with all the glass floor, that scared me. I've been up the Empire State, that scared me, and I couldn't ever look over the edge of anything. So I actually did a skydive a few years ago for charity, but although I was terrified before I did it, once I actually confronted that and did it and jumped out of that plane, was the best thing I've ever done in my life, and I don't have that same fear of heights anymore. One that I have confronted and realised it's not really an anxiety, is actually to like social anxiety. So I used to sometimes get social anxiety before going out. I just started to confront that and just put myself fully in that situation of, instead of avoiding going out and telling people I don't want to go out, I'd just go for it and do it. And if I happen to have a panic attack when I'm out or whatever, I knew that I was going to be fine through it. I knew I was going to deal with it, and you know, I knew I was going to be able to get through that myself. So my third tip is to do something physical, so to move around when you are in a state of anxiety or fear. Your body has a fight or flight response, so it either wants to move around and fight whatever it is, or it wants to run and take flight so that it can get away from that fear and that anxiety that you have. So doing something physical can take out that energy, that adrenaline. It can use the adrenaline up, so it's not just coursing through your body without you moving, because that's when you start to feel anxiety intensely. So go for a run, just go for a walk, you know, just go outside, do a workout, do some star jumps, just get that energy out, move yourself around, just be active, dance, sing, do whatever you can to move around. It will get that energy out. I find that all really helps me. And the fourth and final tip that I recommend is to immerse yourself fully in it, accept it fully for what it is. Don't be annoyed at yourself for having anxiety. Don't be annoyed if it comes up out of nowhere. I'd get it a lot of the time when I was having a good time, and then all of a sudden it would just be like a switch has been flicked, and I would be like, oh my god, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be anxious about that. And I'd be annoyed at myself for then feeling anxious and kind of ruining the moment of what I was in. So instead of doing that, just allow it to you know, allow yourself to sit in it. Just know that you are stronger than it and you will get through the other side of it. Just accept it for what it is. Allow your emotions to come and go without any judgment. Allow your anxieties to come. I'll actually just sit, and instead of thinking, oh god, I don't want to think of you, I don't want to think of you, push it out of my head, push it out of my head, that brings more in. So instead of thinking that, I just think, okay, that's perfectly normal that I feel like that. It's nothing to judge myself about. How can I understand this a little bit more? And maybe then you're just calming yourself down, and whilst your thoughts are going, and you can actually talk yourself out of the anxiety, because you can actually process and think, okay, well, has it happened yet? And you say, no, it hasn't happened yet, so there's no point in me worrying. Can I change it? Yes, if you can change it, then there's no point in worrying. Can I not change it? You cannot change it. There is no point in worrying. So just accept it, go fully into it. Don't judge yourself. Don't let anybody else tell you that you're being silly or crazy. Allow yourself to feel how you feel. It's perfectly natural. You're not alone. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, comment, turn on the notifications so you can see when I post another video. If you want any more content like this on how to deal with anxiety, if you want me to speak a little bit more personally about my own experience, then please let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, please keep spreading the positive vibes and love, and I will see you soon. Mwah!